Hi there, in this video I'm going to share with you how you can sing without straining your voice. Now before we dive in, do remember to hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell so that you get all of my future videos, and I want to thank everyone who has already subscribed. Now, singing without straining is something I'm asked about a lot. I know it's had a high volume of searches on YouTube and all over the internet. So we really do want to sing without straining our voices. Now, vocal strain, what is it? It's where we overuse or abuse our voices, don't use our voices properly, haven't learned the right techniques, or neglect to use the right techniques if we do know what they are. Now, for most people, if you haven't had vocal training, it's really difficult for you to understand how you can use your voice properly and use the right technique. So it's really important that you do follow along with my videos. I always demonstrate technique to you. I always talk you through how to sing. Not all vocal coaches do, and that's their prerogative. But I want to make sure that I'm helping as many people as possible because I know not everyone has access to singing lessons. Now, if you are interested in singing and you are serious about singing, I recommend that you take my free 5-day course. You can find the link either in the pinned comment or in the description underneath the video. All you need to do is go to that link, click on that link, pop your details in, and I'm going to send that directly to your inbox. Now, you will need to check your spam because I know that the course is going into some people's spam and they're not finding it until days later. So when if you find that you're not receiving those emails, do check in your spam, okay? Bring them out of the spam into your inbox and then you'll be able to watch the videos. Okay, so vocal strain. This is where you cause either temporary or permanent damage to your vocal cords. It's not your actual throat, it's your vocal cords themselves. Now, this can be done by either working your voice too much. People who want to train their voice for hours on end every day, definitely don't recommend that, especially if you're a beginner. People who sing without warming up, definitely don't recommend that to anyone. This is what Adele did for a long time and ended up having to have an operation on her vocal cords and risk losing her voice forever. People who are not observing proper vocal hygiene, vocal health, staying hydrated, steaming, if you're drinking too much caffeine, if you're eating too much sugar, if you're drinking lots of fizzy drinks, all of this goes towards ruining your voice. Now, even if you have temporary damage, you want to avoid that as much as possible because your voice is in use every day. And even if you're not singing, you want to have healthy vocals. So how we can avoid vocal strain is by learning correct vocal techniques, by warming up every single time we sing, even if you're just singing one song. If you're at a party or whatever, you're out with your mates or you're at a family gathering or something like that, you can just go off and, do a few lip bubbles for a few minutes, lip bubbles and tongue trills and hums for a few minutes, then come back and sing your song. But I don't recommend just going into a song, especially if you're using advanced techniques like belting. Now, what happens with vocal strain is either your voice gets fatigued or your vocal cords bang together and they cause each other friction. So they're banging together, they can cause bruises, small tears, vocal nodules, or you can just cause inflammation and that makes your voice sound raspy, which some people like, but you don't want to have a raspy voice because of damage. Rasp is something you can add. It's an embellishment that you can learn to add at will rather than ruining your voice to get vocal rasp, okay? So if you're finding that your voice is raspy and you like the sound, wait until your voice has recovered. Find a good, trained, experienced vocal coach who knows how to teach you how to use rasp with your voice. When your vocal cords are inflamed, it's more difficult for you to hit higher notes, to hit lower notes, to control your voice. You're at risk of serious laryngitis and losing your voice completely. So your vocal cords don't have any nerve endings. So by the time there's damage, you don't know because your actual voice doesn't hurt. It's the muscles around your voice, or the skin and membranes around your voice that are painful. But what can we do to avoid vocal strain? Well, I've already said, learning the right techniques. It's usually down to placement, resonance, and understanding where to put your voice, how to make the sounds that you want to make. And the first thing that I always recommend is mastering the vocal registers. So you want to get a hold on your chest register, your head register, and mixing your registers together so that you get a mixed voice. And once you have this, it's much easier to learn everything else. So I'm going to give you an exercise now which is going to help with blending the head and chest registers, and the sound is new. We're going to sing like Mary Poppins, and we sing new, 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 new. So we're not trying to make it sound pretty. We're not trying to make it sound singy. We're not singing new, 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 new. No, we're not doing any. We don't need any of that. Straight. New, 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 new. So this is going to develop vocal control. So we get the control, we add the pretty stuff later. So here we go. 5, 6, 7, and new, 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 new. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. You're going to get to a point where your voice wants to flip, but you want to avoid flipping up. New, 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 new. So I'm actually mixing. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. And avoid making it louder. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. New, 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 new. Last one. New, 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 new. Back down. Now, if you haven't yet established your head voice, so that's the singy part, then this is a really good exercise that you can do. It's the same pattern, but you really want to open your throat, the back of your throat, nice and relaxed. And imagine you've got 4 plums right at the back of your throat. You don't want to swallow them, and you don't want them to be in your mouth. They're like right on the edge. And I'm going to overdo the sound. It's a really yawny, plummy sound. Here we go. 5, 6, 7, and So you notice that I'm not going, I'm not pulling my chest up. I never do that. We either want to mix or go straight into head voice. This time we're going straight into head voice, that singy, chorally part of your voice. So let's go from here. So if I stop using that technique, I'm going to strain my voice. So let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can strain my voice, right? So I'm not quite straining it because I do know how to navigate around that part of my voice. It's definitely not a good technique. If I were to sing like that, I would definitely get a sore throat and cause damage. So we don't want we want, for this sound, head voice. Now, when you first start to do it, it can sound a bit silly. You might get embarrassed, especially if people are around you, because you're not used to your voice sounding that way. But this is actually the classical way of singing. So if you're interested in, you've got a friend or you've heard of someone who is classically trained, that's what that means. They're using that part of their voice and they're trained to develop and build strength in that part of their voice. Now, I don't recommend that you only sing in that way. And if you're a contemporary singer, so rock, soul, indie, jazz, country for sure, I don't recommend going to a classical singing teacher because it's a completely different way of singing. Now, when it comes to projecting your voice, this is where a lot of strain is caused. A lot of people think that projecting your voice means shouting or pulling chest voice up into the higher pitches, and it really isn't. Projection is about placing your voice in the right place, creating the right resonance, using the right placement, so that when your voice is in that place, when the sound is made there, it naturally projects. Projection isn't making your voice louder. So I'll give you an example of the wrong way and the right way to project. And I'm going to use the sound, yeah. So I could sing, yeah. That's horrible. Yeah. Oh, it's awful. Yeah. It's just shouting. It's awful. And I definitely couldn't sing like that. It's not nice to listen to, it's not nice to sing, and it doesn't sound good in a song. When I use the right technique, yeah, it's much easier to make the sound. It sounds a lot nicer, and I could sing a song like that. So I hope that this has helped you to understand different ways of using your voice so that you can avoid vocal strain. I've got lots of videos, I've got hundreds of videos on this channel. So if you're interested in projection, then you can find a voice projection video. If you're interested in learning how to sing in head voice, the classically way, then you can go to one of those videos. And if you're interested in mixed voice or whatever it is, I've got something for you. Now remember to like and comment. Tell me what you found most helpful about this video. If there's something you'd like me to help you with, let me know and I'll make a video for you, as I have with some people already. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Stay hydrated. Ciao!